Hello, I'm Learnka Yu Roy. Today we are talking about the change of public managers and how they survive through the old and new public management. First, we are talking about public manager. Public managers are responsible for directing the programs and organizations of government. They are selected through merit systems designed to ensure competence and continuity in the operation of government. They often operate in a hostile environment in which criticism and resistance greet the actions of government. The hard work of finding solutions falls uniquely on public managers. For the public managers in old public management, they emphasize operating and perfecting processes, procedures, functions, and accountability structures of large organizations impose this orientation on them. But public programs are expected to solve complex public problems. The traditional orientation of public managers does not position them to confront public problems, which appear in myriad forms and do not fit neatly within the authority of one law or jurisdiction. But for now, public managers can no longer succeed if they remain in their traditional roles as administrator concerned only with controlling and refining organizational functions and processes in new public management. They now need to be entrepreneurs who identify emerging needs and demanding frame new opportunities for their programs and organizations, and reposition those programs to respond more effectively. Effective public managers now need to develop the diagnostic skill to discipline and to anticipate and identify problems, analyze them to understand their causes and interrelated parts, categorize their severity and urgency, encourage them to set priorities for action, and the new public management has shaped them into new type of public managers who need to serve as an entrepreneur, experts of improvisation, executive of the public interest, and answering the call of people. For experts of improvisation, public managers often find themselves surrounded by ambiguity about the problem they are asked to address, authority they can bring to bear on that problem, resources available over the long term, challenges they will encounter, and difficulties of measuring success. Public managers need to be masters as developing adaptive business model that allow programs and organizations to adjust to new circumstances and still produce valuable results. They need to adapt to being leaders or members of networks or other collaborative structures that combines the resources, expertise, and authority of multiple organizational entities and to design tailor-made solutions. For executives of the public interest, they can open public policy processes for participation in collaborative efforts to make decisions on public issues. They can embody a passionate commitment to the mission of the organization and serve as a model for its members. They can help form the core of public-spirited citizens who still believe we have obligation to each other, responsibility to preserve democratic ideals for future generations. For answering the call, the public manager has responsibility for addressing the nation's most serious, sweeping problems. They have to answer people's call through public conferences and by measures. They build infrastructures like highway and railway to improve people's life, or they increase the access of healthcare and welfare access. There are still cons in new public management as new public management stresses in serving the public. They somehow change their way of working to become more ineffective. To satisfy public concerns, they can't keep up their own effective way to work but just by themselves. They need to account to the public to be transparent, and that makes they need to pass through a lot of conferences like councils and bills. It makes them ineffective. And there is an example, which is the Commissioner of Police of the Hong Kong Police Force, that they must serve the public and the public manager in the past as a bureaucrat. They do their things as effective as they can to quicken the process of working. But now, they have to increase their transparency and listen more to public's opinion. They now have to attend more press conferences and make more things public like what they have done in operations. This implies that they are listening more to public opinions by collecting them and try to increase their transparency and to meet more of public standards of working.